Hello and welcome back. Even for many professional wrestling fans today, the golden era of the 1980s is still the best era in the history of the business. With riveting storytelling, captivating storylines, and larger-than-life characters, the World Wrestling Federation (WWF) and National Wrestling Alliance (NWA) were the most popular promotions. In addition to these, the American Wrestling Association (AWA), World Class Championship Wrestling (WCCW), and the Mid-South/Universal Wrestling Federation (UWF) were also competitive promotions that created legendary stars. In the 1980s, good guys, babyfaces, and bad guys, heels, were a major influence on how pro wrestling promotions presented the wrestlers. During this time, some of the biggest heels were Andre the Giant, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Iron Sheik, Nature Boy Ric Flair, and fellow Four Horsemen members Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham, among others, with many of these names being managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. In contrast, there were many babyfaces who excited the crowd and helped develop such a great era. Here are the top 10 of the best professional wrestlers of the 1980s. Number 10. Jake the Snake Roberts. I still feel afraid when I look into the eyes of Jake the Snake Roberts. Then there was the fact that he had a big snake with him in a bag. Roberts was once again one of the men on this list to not win any gold in WWE, but that did not stop him from making a major impact. Roberts is exactly the kind of character Randy Orton hopes he can become. Roberts was always menacing, and even when he was a face, his cold stare scared you and made you happy when he was on your side. Number 9. Harley Race. One of only 6 men in the WWE, WCW, Professional Wrestling and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fames, Harley Race is one of the all-time greats. His match with Ric Flair at Starrcade 1983 is still one of the greatest matches in wrestling history. Harley Race was a champion pretty much anywhere he went, including the honor of being WWE's King of the Ring in 1986. There isn't enough time in the day to say how great Harley Race is and how important he is to the history of this business. Number 8. King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy seemed like nothing more than a sideshow act brought in to get people over. Bundy did it better than anyone else, though, still remembered as one of the best big men in WWE history. Bundy won the second shortest match in WrestleMania history, a 9-second defeat of SD Jones. It was then that Bundy demanded having to win with 5 counts instead of 3 counts. Bundy got Hogan over to a rocking crowd at WrestleMania 2, falling to the Hulkster in his steel cage. Every big man nowadays should take a page out of King Kong Bundy's book in order to be a better superstar. Number 7. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat is another all-time great to come into prominence in pro wrestling in the 1980s. His match at WrestleMania 3 with Randy Savage for the Intercontinental Champion is one of the 5 greatest matches that I have ever seen. Anyone can watch that match and want to be a professional wrestler after seeing it. Steamboat is one of the most recognizable Intercontinental Champions of all time and was a world champion in WCW, winning the NWA World Championship. Number 6. The Ultimate Warrior. One of the most excited men in wrestling history was the Ultimate Warrior. The crowd could immediately feed off of his energy, which helped in him being so successful as a pro wrestler. While already holding on to the Intercontinental Championship, Warrior became WWF champion, forcing him to vacate the previous title. Had he been able to hold both at the same time, Warrior could have had a chance to be one of the most dominant champions of all time. Even if you didn't grow up watching him, you can still watch promos of him and wish that you were him for a few minutes. Number 5. Andre the Giant. It was Andre the Giant that became a household name and put the WWF on the map. He helped to start Hulkamania. He was one of the first wrestlers to be a successful actor in Hollywood. His size and stature put butts in the seats in a way that nobody since has been able to duplicate. Andre the Giant is not only one of the 10 best of the 1980s, but is also one of the 10 best of all time. Number 4. Rowdy Roddy Piper. Piper was a talented wrestler and a master on the mic. He was a natural showman, with a quick wit and a gift for improvisation. Whether he was cutting a promo or calling a match, Piper always kept the audience engaged. But what really set Piper apart was his heart. He was known for his kindness and generosity, and he was always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need. Sadly, Piper passed away in 2015 at the age of 61, but his legacy lives on in the hearts of wrestling fans around the world. Number 3. Macho Man Randy Savage. We know all too well lately what the accomplishments are for Randy Savage when he tragically passed away earlier this year. Savage has inspired every single man in professional wrestling today, and his spirit will live on in the squared circle forever. Who can forget his mainstream success with commercials and appearances across the world? Savage was just as great backstage talking to Gene Aukerland as he was in the ring with Hulk Hogan or Ricky Steamboat. Number 2. Ric Flair. Flair was a force to be reckoned with both in and out of the ring. But what really made Ric Flair stand out wasn't just his style, it was his talent. Flair was a master in the ring, with moves that were both athletic and entertaining. His figure 4 leg lock is still considered one of the greatest submission moves of all time. When he stepped into the ring, he owned it. His charisma, his confidence, his sheer love of the sport, it all came through in his performances. And let's not forget the championships. Flair held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship a record-setting 8 times, and he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2008. Number 1. Hulk Hogan. Hogan burst onto the scene in the 1980s, with his signature red and yellow attire and his larger-than-life persona. He was known for his incredible strength and charisma. Hogan's impact went beyond just his in-ring performances. He helped usher in the era of sports entertainment, where wrestling became a huge spectacle and drew massive crowds. He was a household name, appearing on everything from lunchboxes to Saturday morning cartoons. And let's not forget Hogan's contributions to the world of charity. He was a frequent supporter of Make-A-Wish and other organizations. It's undeniable that Hulk Hogan had a massive impact on the world of wrestling and entertainment. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005, and his name will forever be associated with the term icon. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.